as you guys can see, if you saw the trailer, you see Norman Osborn is a black man now. Wow, oh my god. He has waves. He still has waves. Let's go. At least they kept the waves, right? Now, honestly, I don't understand why people are mad about this. Like, see, first comment right here. Race swapping is getting out of control. This is totally unnecessary. I mean, whether it being unnecessary or not, it doesn't really matter. You know, like people always like, okay, let me guess what his like backup is. If they made Blade a white guy, would you say the same thing? If they feel the need to race on Bird's place, if you create a character who's want to be changed in the future for no reason. Now, let me be honest. Blade being white would kind of like, okay, it would kind of change the like the context and the story, because the whole reason why he's a daywalker, it's not because he's black, but it's like it kind of adds another element to him being like a daywalker and stuff, because vampires are traditionally white. Being white was never integral to Norman Osborn's character. You know, he was literally just supposed to be a rich guy who funds scientific projects. That was it. Who owns this company called Oscorp, and it seems like they hit all of the uh expressions of his character in this trailer. He seems rich. He kind of seems a little scummy, and he has a son, Harry, which also is black, by the way. Um, Again, I don't think being black was ever integral to the character of Norman Osborn, or even the see. Okay, it's funny how people are getting mad about Norman Osborn, but not mad about Harry, because Harry is honestly, I fucking, you know what I hate about Harry? I hate his haircut. Why did they give him the generic? Uh, oh no, they didn't. Never mind. I thought they gave him. I only watched this trailer one time. So they gave Harry like, okay, never mind. I thought they gave him the freaking the sideways dreads that they're giving all the new black characters, but no, they gave him like a decently nice haircut actually. Yeah, people are mad about Norman Osborn being race swapped, but not Harry, which is weird. I don't again, I don't think it was integral to his character being black or white. They hit all the story beats that they're supposed to as who Norman Osborn is. He even seems like an egomaniac still. In the little like 5 seconds you heard from him, he sounds like Norman Osborn. Like he sounds like Norman Osborn would. So him being black or white or red or Mexican or fucking purple, I don't think it would really matter all that much. People always like to use this thing like, oh yeah, well, what if we start turning black characters white? Well, the thing is, right? People brought up Black Panther, and it's like, okay, turning Black Panther white, that doesn't make any sense either, because he's literally an African superhero. Norman Osborn, like him being white was never integral to his character. It never necessarily came up. Like he was never like racist. He never had any like racial tension with anybody or anything like that. And if he has, you guys could look it up and show me, because I've never seen Norman Osborn be racist. If the only person I've seen Norman Osborn hate is Spider-Man or anyone that tries to mess with his company. So like I never seen him as like someone who was bigoted or anything like that. Like, so I don't think being bigoted or like I said, his race never really mattered to his character. You know, it's like when you turn Spider-Man black, it's like, okay, they have to change some things. Like instead of being from Queens, he's from Harlem. Or it's also a whole different universe, by the way. Just want to point that out. Like this is a whole different universe as well. Like no one cares about Nick Fury being turned black. Maybe there was an uproar, but I didn't hear anything about that. No one cared about Nick Fury being black because it's a whole different universe. Why can't people have the same energy when it comes to this? Because this is a completely different universe. It's a completely different iteration of Spider-Man. Oh, like when okay, I'd understand if this was like supposed to be 616, if this was supposed to be like the original Amazing Spider-Man story, and they all of a sudden race swap random characters that literally were never supposed to be like that. But this is a whole different universe. If we can get away with Nick Fury being black in the Ultimate Universe, then we could get away with Norman Osborn being black in this universe. The reason why Black Panther is never not black in no universe is because he's literally an African superhero. That literally wouldn't make sense. Okay, this guy bringing up Blade being white. Honestly, I could see that, because Blade being white isn't. I mean, Blade being actually no, Blade being black is integral to his character as well. Again, because I did bring up earlier, vampires being traditionally white and also not being able to be in the sun, while Blade being a black vampire that can actually be in the sun, it kind of adds a little bit of a, what do you call it? Like, it's like subtext. It's like subtext in a story. You know, Blade being white would kind of take out that subtext. It would actually take out that like outsider, that outsider, I guess, feel that Blade has. You know, being a vampire and a human at the same time. Um, in general, I don't think I don't think it would really matter like that. You know, other than that, other than taking away that subtext, as long as it's a good story, I don't think it would matter if Blade is white. Honestly, I want to know what the problem is. Like, I understand people want to see characters depicted as like how they originally are and stuff like that, but a character like Norman Osborn, it's like, dude, it literally has nothing to do with his race. Like, it really doesn't. It actually doesn't. You know, because if you look, even if you look at the trailer, it's like him being black doesn't affect like the context in which everything can happen at all. Like, I guess the only thing can affect maybe is like certain interactions they could possibly have, but even then, it's like, again, in the original Spider-Man, Norman Osborn was never depicted as someone who like had whiteness as so important to his character. He was never like that. You know, it never mattered for him to be white. Really, you know, he was a white redhead with he was a white redhead with waves. Like, the man was very like that. I've never seen a white person with waves, so that was like revolutionary. Honestly, Blade being black is a main part of his character. Norman being white, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, Blade being black is literally some subtext, and I think in early Blade comics, he literally was like, wasn't vampires racist to him in the early Blade comics? I actually do remember like white vampires were literally racist to Blade, like in his early series. So that's kind of funny. And that's the thing, a lot of these characters weren't necessarily made with the intention of being white. They were just made white because usually the creators of these characters are white. That's what we have to realize. It's like, usually, right, if a black person makes a character, 9 times out of 10 the character is going to be black. If a white person makes a character, 9 times out of 10 the character is going to be white. If a Asian person makes a character, 9 times out of 10 the character is going to be Asian. If a Hispanic person makes a character, 9 times out of 10 the character is going to be Hispanic. I mean, what don't people realize about this? And again, if I feel like if that character gets popular enough to where people want to turn it into another race, then why not? You know, why not? Like, let's think about Spider-Man for a second. For example, right? Spider-Man was made with the intention, right? Because of his costume, it covers his whole body. Spider-Man was made with the intention that anyone can be behind the mask, right? Anyone can be Spider-Man. So that's why I feel like when people were getting mad about the whole Miles thing, that is literally Spider-Man's character. He needs to be that. Okay, it's another reason why they will never make Captain America not white. And okay, I know people are gonna talk about what did they do with Captain America? I know they didn't necessarily make him white, but they made someone else pick up the mantle of Captain America. But that also happens in comics all the time. Or like how when they made Riri the new Iron Man. You know, okay, yes, that was totally unnecessary, but it was also like the stories was also trash. Let's be honest, the stories. I never watched the that Captain America movie when they made, I really don't remember his name, but y'all know what I'm talking about. When they made the black guy play Captain America, I didn't watch that movie. If it's trash, it probably was trash because nobody talked about it. Nobody really gave it praise or anything, so I'm guessing it was bad. In general, right? Nobody will bat an eye if you turned a black character white and then made a good story, right? People will be mad if you turn this character a different race and then make it bad, right? This doesn't look bad, other than the animation, other than some slight animation that like errors I see here. Like I don't think Spider-Man swinging is like that great. Sometimes I'm not really a fan of like I'm not a fan too much of a fan of this animation too much or this art style really. I don't really like the art style that much, but I think generally it's gonna be a good series. You know, I think there's some good stills. I like the art style in the sense that like there's some good stills, but as an animation, like as an animated series, I don't think this art style is very good. It might be easy. You know, they might be able to produce it very fast and stuff, but I don't think I like this art style that much. Like as a for animation, maybe again for a comic book, cool, right? But I don't know. I don't know for animation, but in general, it doesn't matter. Norman Osborn being black, being white, being purple, being Asian, being Hispanic, being Japanese, it doesn't matter. It literally was not a part of his character. Norman Osborn was not made with the intention of being white. He was made with the intention of being rich, business owner, science experimentalist person, also an asshole with a lot of ego. You know, it's like character traits and I guess life story is very specific, and him being white was never integral to that. That's it. So if you're mad about this, I think you really need to reassess what you're mad at, because a lot of people want to talk about this whole like this whole PC thing, like everything's getting so PC, everything's getting so this that like okay, I get where you're coming from, but this is like not really one of those things. I feel like if anything, they turned him black just so y'all would talk about it at the end of the day, just so people like y'all would talk about it. Because doing it with a person like Norman Osborn does not matter at all. It does not. It literally doesn't matter at all. Another thing I just want to bring up too. If y'all mad about this, then you should be mad at the new Batman series that makes Batman poor now instead of being a rich person, right? Because that I mean, sure he's still white, but now he's poor. So you should be mad at that. Even though I'm not gonna lie, they did their thing with that, making Batman look like a freaking tank. He looks pretty awesome. He's a freaking bodybuilder. What is he, welder or something like that? I don't remember. I think he's like an engineer or something like that. But that's pretty cool. I feel like that was cool. But again, if you're mad at this, you should be mad at that because they're changing something that's integral to Batman, right? But you're not gonna be mad at that because it was actually a cool story. Norman being black does not have anything to do with his character. I know I said it a million times. I'm gonna keep saying it because the people that are mad are low key kind of just weird. Y'all are just weird. Y'all are really just weird about it, you know?